The First Amendment guarantees freedoms concerning religion, expression, assembly, the right to petition. It forbids Congress from both promoting one religion over others and also restricting individuals' religious practices. It guarantees freedom of expression by promoting Congress from restricting the press or the rights of individuals to speak freely. It also guarantees rights of citizens to assemble peacefully and petition their own government. Although the First Amendment protects the rights of citizens, it doesn't always end up protecting the rights of students. As soon as students step into the school building, their life goes into the hands of the government. One example of this is Tinker versus Des Moines Independent Community School District. In December of 1966, 3 students, Christopher Eckhart, Mary Beth Tinker, and her brother, John Tinker, wore black armbands with peace signs on them as a protest of the Vietnam War. As a result, all 3 of them were suspended from school and were banned from entering the school unless they were not wearing the armbands. This was because the school administration feared the armbands would provoke violence among the students. As a result, the students appealed and made it all the way to the Supreme Court, where they argued that they weren't disrupting school by wearing the armbands, and that it was a trample on their First Amendment right. In the end, the Supreme Court ruled 7-2 in favor of Tinker. Justice A. Fortas wrote, "It can hardly be argued that either students or teachers shed their First Amendment constitutional rights to free speech at the school gate." In the years since that case, schools have had challenges when it comes to First Amendment rights for students. One of the ways that they have blocked this First Amendment right is through censoring school-sponsored papers, as well as school-sponsored events, such as what happened to my friend Marcus Shaw in the year 2016. Here is his story.
I remember auditioning, and then I remember a few days later, I was called in to see Principal Domino, and when I went in to see Principal Domino, she said that she didn't think that I should perform my poem after I performed it in front of her, and she told me that she thought that issues involving police violence would be too touchy to talk about, and then I told her I didn't understand. She invited the officer, I can't remember who it was at the time, but the school officer that we had inside the principal's office to hear my poem and to also solidify her viewpoint of it not being able to be performed. And so I went home, I was very emotional, and told my mother about it. Mother then went into the office asking Miss Demito why I couldn't perform my poem, and so she still stood firm and said that it shouldn't be performed. Then I heard from Crystal that she had heard Mrs. Domino as well as Miss Santaveneer talking about why I couldn't perform the poem, and when they discussed it, Crystal heard it and she talked to me and she talked about putting together a petition.
Basically, that was kind of like the tipping point for me. Like, people feel like they have to be mute and not say like what they are living, so we have to find some way to give everyone a voice and like stop this from happening. So that's when I had messaged Marcus and I said, hey, it was your poem, it's your situation, I don't want to put you on blast or anything, but I think this is wrong and I would like to make a petition for you to be in the talent show. Do you mind sending me your poem? So I read over his poem, and everything in it was like completely valid, factual evidence of stuff that had been occurring with police brutality, such as Trayvon Martin and so many other people. So I sent it to like all my friends, they shared it with their family. We had people from all over signing the petition, and Marcus like said his side of the story. I was called into the principal's office, and my parents are like, do not say anything to them. If they want to talk to you, they can like call your parent, because as a 17-year-old student and you're going against these big adults, it's like very intimidating, because they're like asking you like, why are you doing this? Why do you think this is okay? And kind of like trying to get you to back down. And like, it's hard because you're like, I don't want to be in trouble. This is my vice principal, this is the principal. but I know what's right and I know what's in my heart. Glad like at the end of the day he like got a chance to perform, and we got like over 2,000 signatures from people all over the world, not just in our specific area. And it just showed that like how much movement you can make by starting something that you believe in.
It was a highlight of my high school career, and I was very happy to see that people cared about it and were willing to sign it and were able to even view the poem. Like, I feel like more people viewed the poem because of what happened. I was very happy to have it be a topic of discussion, have people reaching out and just being able to overturn a decision that we felt was unjust. Also, I was just really happy to have Crystal reach out, see that this was something that shouldn't have happened, and make a plan and strategize about making it happen. So yeah, it was really heartwarming. In one word, it was very heartwarming to see everybody just share it and come together to make it happen.
And I think that just like is a everlasting symbol for Towson High, even if you weren't necessarily in that time period, because it still is talked about today. My sister, she's 3 years younger than me, and she went to Towson High after me. So in her classes, they still talk about the situation when it comes to learning about like the First Amendment in history class, what really is freedom of speech. Are you allowed to have freedom in speech in the public school system? So
I just think free speech is very important because it allows people to talk about issues that are affecting them. And if you are limiting free speech, then you're kind of throwing issues under the rug and not necessarily giving the opportunity to address them and to help fix them.